experiential learning become the initiation path for problem-based learning and project-based learning. So let us understand one by one each one of them. Can you think what exactly this picture is trying to convey? On one of the side, the knowledge is being given directly to the brain. On the other hand side, the student is doing actual problem solving with the help of the faculty, and that is what is called problem-based learning. If I go into the history of problem-based learning, it all started from McMaster University by Professor Boro along with his team way back in 1960. The approach was developed by a group of physicians and basic scientists in the medical education field. The purpose why it is being developed, because medical students were memorizing tons of facts but could not apply them in real patients. The core idea was give students an ill-structured patient case study on day one. They figure out what they don't know, research it, then come back to solve it. Learning is driven by the problem. Problem-based learning was stated to make learning more student-centered, practical, and focused on solving real-world problems. The method gained popularity very quickly due to its effectiveness in promoting critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Within a span of very few years, it is being adopted in several countries like Netherlands, Australia, Israel, United States. An impact on educations by emphasizing on active learning, collaboration, self-directed learning, and real-world application of knowledge. He is the person, Dr. Boro, behind problem-based learning from McMaster University. If I go into the definition of problem-based learning, a learning method that uses problem as a starting point. We are talking about the problem as a starting point for the acquisition and integration of new knowledge. Now the question comes, how to derive the problem? Let me go a little bit deep into how to derive a problem. If you look into this particular picture, maybe elephant, we can consider it as a problem, and there are many persons who are eyes are cuffed. They try to understand the problem. Somebody call it as a snake, a pillar, the maybe wall, and something else. If I ask you what exactly you are going to look upon, maybe you can give upon some other problem. So here comes the role of a problem statement canvas. What exactly is the problem is, when it is going to happen, who is going to have the real impact of the problem, is there any alternative which are available, or maybe if at all there are any alternatives, what are the maybe problems with those alternatives. This is the sixth compartment, that is problem statement canvas. Context, customer, problem, alternative, and alternative shortcomings along with the impacts. Let us look at this particular picture. Can you identify exactly where is the problem? Let me now draw the problem statement canvas. Context means when does the problem occur? Maybe rural area or maybe suburban schools, maybe during shift to digital learning, maybe where the infrastructure is low. And why the problem, or maybe what is the root cause of the problem? Lack of digital infrastructure, or maybe shortage of trained teachers. Who are the customer who are going to face it? Maybe the rural students, government school students, economically weaker families, or maybe teacher lacking tech training. What are the impacts? Emotionally, students are feeling left behind, low confidence, or maybe frustration and demotivations. Dropout rate increases within the schools, or maybe the low attendance. Alternative which are available till now, maybe some of the student can use the mobile phone from their parents, or maybe private tuition support. And of course, these alternatives do have many big problems. Then let us understand what is the problem-based learning process. The very first part is identifying the problem, which we have just studied. The second part is student collaboration. Students work individually or in a team to understand the problem. They do the research and analysis. They investigate, gather information, and evaluate the possible solutions. They develop the solutions. Maybe team proposes and refine solutions of the problem. Maybe they do the group discussions. And ultimately they present and reflect. Students present their solutions and reflect on what they have learned. Let us take a small examples. I think each one of us, especially in Delhi, we are very much aware of this particular problem. I will not say in Delhi, it is all over the India as such. We have lot of pothole on the roads, but again a very big problem. What steps we are supposed to find out? We are going to present the problems. Maybe road have potholes. The observation is there are frequent accident taking place, vehicle damage, traffic jam, maybe water accumulation during rains. Student investigate the problem, collect the information from local residents, vehicle owner, municipal officials, civil engineers and traffic police. They do the survey, interview, site visit or maybe the news report. They analyze the root cause. Possible causes can be poor road constructions, heavy vehicle load, inadequate drainage system, lack of regular maintenance, water seepage or budget constraint. They develop the possible solutions in terms of better quality road materials, road inspections, smart sensor, improved drainage system, citizen reporting mobile apps and something else. They evaluate the various solutions in terms of cost, long-term effectiveness and impact on the citizens. And ultimately they present the recommendations in terms of report, presentation, infographic and policy recommendations. This is exactly what happens in problem-based learning. And this is what is, you can understand problem-based learning solutions along with the problems, along with the process, along with what we found the root cause, maybe the recommendation of possible solutions. This is what is problem-based learning. Problem can be many of the women feel unsafe while traveling or walking alone at night. If a challenge is given to the students to make problem-based learning on this particular topic, they can go step by step, identify the problem, investigate, analyze the cause, brainstorm the solutions and ultimately present the recommendation, just presentation of that recommendations. While you're designing the problem-based activity for your students, this is the steps which you can take. Identify an applicable real-life problem, maybe the tangible problem relevant to the students. Look at the issues within the schools or maybe the communities. Determine the purpose, what you want to accomplish. Focus on the goal such as problem solving, content, critical thinking. Distribute and create helpful materials to the students. Set goal and expectation in terms of providing a rubrics. Clarify the expectations and help students stay focused. Participate as a facilitator, like guide student with questions and prompts. And ultimately having student present their ideas, maybe in terms of recommendation, in terms of knowledge sharing, in terms of communication skills. So let me tell you one thing, whenever we are applying the problem-based learning, if it is being implemented effectively, it builds the critical thinking, collaboration, creativity and real world problem solving skills that prepare students for the future. Let us take one examples, like we can show to the students one video wherein a video clip where athlete get injured during a game. The problem is students are tasked with analyzing the incident. What they can do, they can identify the forces, determine the direction and magnitude, identify the ligament and analyze and conclude in terms of finding and propose a possible explanation. Some of the problems which we can share with the students, like in hospital, notice that patients are waiting in a long queue. before consulting the doctors. Management students are given the problem and asked to investigate the cause. What they can do, they can collect the data, interview staffs, analyze the workflow, identify the bottlenecks, recommend solutions such as digital appointment system or something else. So what we are learning over here is the focusing on the analyzing and solving a problem, no requirement to build a product, emphasis on inquiry, research and critical thinking. We can always give one more challenge to the students: declining sale of a retail chain. Maybe retail chain sale has declined by 20%. Identify the reasons. They can identify the customer data, survey consumers, study the competitor, propose a strategy like pricing, promotions and digital marketing.